Welcome to Gen X Unfiltered. Did the internet ruin music? Grab a drink, grab a snack, and let's go back. Welcome back to Gen X Unfiltered. I'm Steve.
I'm Eric.
And I'm Kelly.
We are Gen X Unfiltered. This is our inaugural podcast here on Gen X Unfiltered. I'm super excited to do this. I don't know about you guys.
Nervous a little bit, to be honest.
It feels weird. This is our
It
first
does
time
feel weird.
having like actual microphones and headphones. It feels weird. It sounds weird. It's
I feel like we're like imposter syndrome, using all this fancy stuff when I don't know what I'm doing, really.
Oh, God, they're going to find us out.
That's right. This is a strange one. It feels weird, but it's cool. But hey, thank you everyone for joining us. So
Thank
today
you.
we are going to discuss the topic of, did the internet ruin music?
Whoa.
This is a bit of a polarizing topic because, obviously today things are a lot different than what we remember. So again, to start, let's do like a full disclosure. Do you guys have a streaming service on your phone for music at all?
Oh, yeah. I have two streaming services. I have Spotify and Apple Music. So I got two going, and I don't know. I think they're great. I love both the services, but I actually pay for the Apple Music. So I'm stuck with Spotify ads for now, at least.
Yeah. What about you, Kel? Do you have anything?
I had Spotify, but the free one, because I'm a cheap girl, so I ain't paying for that.
Hey,
And-
ad life.
Yeah, well, And I do have Apple Music now. Admittedly, I'm not a huge music streamer in general. I'll hear a song, I want to play it, but I don't stream it regularly. So those are the two that I have used or do use.
Okay, that's fair. No, me too. I have definitely paid for Apple Music, and I've got the free Spotify as well. And I think I have Amazon Music has one as well, I think now. I don't really use it, but I'm pretty sure I have that as well.
I always forget about the Amazon services that like give you for paying for free shipping.
Yeah, with the Prime membership. So
Yeah.
I definitely have that, but I never use it. But so yeah, definitely fully in the streaming world, and I listen to it pretty much every day.
But let's like go way back when
Back
we
to
were
the good old days.
when we were itty bitty little kids. I mean, and at least for me, I could never imagine that this is where we would be all the way back in those days that I'm sure you guys remember.
Very well, very fondly.
Listening to the radio, all the top 40, top 100, Casey Kasem, all those countdowns, and sitting there and waiting to record your favorite song so you had it on a mixtape.
The struggle was real. That was always tough. Yes, I remember trying to get that right spot before they stopped talking, the music started, and all that stuff. Yeah.
Kids nowadays just will never understand the stress that was, but kind of the fun that was, and just it was just so stressful because the DJ would never be kind, and it's the one song you're waiting. It was the Bon Jovi song that you've been waiting for to get on tape, and the DJ would talk over it.
He knew what he was doing. He knew, like, someone's out there waiting to push record on this one. I'm going to talk through the intro.
It was so stressful.
Oh, yeah, it was
Yeah.
always, I remember that. You had to wait too, because it was, the top 10. It's sometimes like top 20, top 40 countdown. So if you didn't, you could be listening for like 2 hours just to catch the song because you don't necessarily know where they are in that top 40 either, right?
Nope.
You're just kind of waiting for that song to kick in.
And I don't know. I took it to another level because I was just a weird kid that, would just spend all day doing that. I would get hyper focused, and I'd even get my little cassette with the blank booklet in it, or not book, the sleeve in it.
The sleeve, so you can write the name of the
write down
song.
like
I
the
would
track list, whatever.
write
Yeah.
down my track list. I would like color on the thing, and it would be like a whole day event.
Wow, you were committed. That's good. I definitely recorded songs off the radio. I don't remember being that intense in terms of like listing songs and stuff. I think it's like a mixtape and just listen to it and then record over. That was a beauty too. You could record over it again if you wanted. And
I couldn't do that though. Like, I just got so obsessed with it. I don't know. I mean, clearly I had nothing else going on for me as a kid, and I would just spend my Saturdays doing that. Everybody else is out riding bikes and playing baseball, and I'm in there like, I gotta get my Bon Jovi song.
you were one of those kids. You're like the kids now. Are like, go outside and play.
Yeah, no, I just wanted to get my Bon Jovi song. But did you guys like label your tape, like mix things, or was it just like you had them in a pile and you just knew what was on there?
Yeah, I'm pretty sure I just had like a pile of them. I don't remember ever specifically labeling them at all. And usually, if it was probably one old label, and you scratch it out and change it again with the next one. And it's like the old VHS tapes you'd have at home. It'd be like one TV show, and someone would scratch it out and be like another episode of something or a movie or
your birth on tape, and then Dad would tape over it with a football game or
I was
something.
there like the Milli Vanilli Grammy performance or something like that. This is way more important.
I don't know if I labeled like the actual like track list, and we used to like name the tape or the CD if I was bringing a CD. I give it like a whole name.
Well, we're talking about tapes. So what would be like an Eric?
Oh, sorry. Let me hold off on CDs for a minute.
No. I just want to know because you're different ages. So like little Eric doing cassette tapes, what would you name one of your mixtapes?
I wasn't so creative when I was a little guy. It would have been like mixtape number 1. So nothing exciting.
Oh,
Keep it simple,
I
yeah.
thought
Yeah.
you would have some sort of
The
fun
CD
like.
era was more exciting when I was a little more like, I'm going to be creative and blah,
We'll
blah,
get
blah.
there, Eric.
We'll get there, I guess.
We'll get
That was
there.
a whole new. That was a whole
Yeah,
next level.
exactly.
We're still in the cassette era.
Sorry. I'll hold back the cassette level, Eric.
I remember my first cassette I ever got. I got it from a birthday, one of my birthday party. One of my friends bought it for me, and it was the New Kids on the Block cassette.
That's funny. I remember the first 2 tapes I ever bought. I bought Slippery When Wet by Bon Jovi and Beastie Boys' License to Ill, and I was like 8 years old.
Oh.
I remember that cost like $15 for the 2 of them. I thought
That's
it was
a
like
lot.
yeah, like $7 a pop. Yeah, I must have like birthday money. I remember my dad taking me to the store to get them.
What about you, Eric?
Oh my God. Are we talking about the first one I bought or like
Or
that was
you
like a gift? Owned?
Yeah.
Jesus. I think it was like California Raisins. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
I miss those guys.
I know.
Well,
they're not so PC now, California
No,
Raisins,
yeah,
but
yes, I know.
they're a big thing back then.
We have New Kids on the Block. We have Bon Jovi and Beastie Boys and California Raisins.
Everything from the grapevine, come on.
I never owned California Raisins tape.
No, I definitely never had that. I remember as a kid, I remember when I got Vanilla Ice to the Extreme for Christmas when I was like 10. And I got that and The Simpsons and the Blues. That was one of my favorite Christmases.
Oh.
And I also got Sega Genesis, which was a complete surprise.
That's really random.
Yeah, that's topics for another day.
We got to stay the course. One of the things I find is it's so easy to like talk about all these things, but we're going to try and stay the course for you guys so we're not
Yeah, it's easy to sort of, as you go down memory lane, you start to think of other things. Yeah,
rambling.
for sure.
But after the cassette era and all the drama, at least in my little world of recording songs that I wanted, we kind of moved to the CD era, I guess.
Yeah,
Right?
that was a big jump, CD era, because that then brought in also like, so you could record the CDs, but then we're also talking like that's when like Limewire and Napster and things like that were around too,
Yeah.
right? Like that was sort of a whole new era. It was
Well, let's-
totally changed. Everything was awesome.
Because given our age, let's start because CDs when they first came out was
They're a huge jump in
like
technology.
young teenagers or
Yeah.
early
Yeah,
teenagers.
CDs were a huge jump in like
Yeah.
over tapes for
Oh,
sure.
yeah,
Like
tapes
you could
were
like
a pain in the ass.
yeah, exactly. Like try it to like find the song you want on a tape if it's like halfway through, right?
Yeah,
You can
yeah.
never like just jump to the start of a song.
No, yeah, you always had to like fast forward it and stuff like that. Yeah.
Yeah, exactly. It was like fast forward and stuff. So CDs are a huge jump there. You could jump to the track you wanted to listen to. You could still fast forward through a track on a CD.
Mm-hmm.
Generally, the sound was like people will argue whatever, but like the sound was like better on a CD.
Yeah.
People
for
can argue
sure.
that point, but like CDs are just a way better medium overall than tapes.
Here's a question, just because I asked the question about cassettes, and this kind of gives insight to our listeners as to what kind of music people we were.
Time out. We forgot the biggest thing about this, the cassette we never talked about. The pencil. If the tape actually got like unwound and screwed up.
Oh yeah.
Oh my
yeah,
gosh,
yeah.
I literally thought Eric meant like cut the tape. We're stopping.
That's
No,
what I thought.
no,
Like,
no. I was like, guys, we missed on like one of the biggest things, the biggest hassles of
I
dealing
blocked
with
it
a tape.
out. I blocked it
Right,
out.
we talked
Yeah.
about like recording off the radio, this and that, but tapes had big pains in the butt. One of them being like if the tape unwound itself, you had to
Yeah,
go
it
find
does.
yourself a pencil, stick it in the little gear.
Well, that's assuming you could even fix it when
Yeah.
it's stuck in those gears. It get all chewed up and stuff like that.
Yeah,
no,
exactly.
That was always a
Yeah.
hassle.
So
Yeah.
anyways, point for streaming there over like cassettes
For
back in the day.
well,
But
that
they-
was CDs. That was not an issue at all, obviously,
Yeah.
which was
But
great.
they were durable, those cassettes, because I mean, I would yank those out and I would use my hands in this and they'd still play. So they were durable.
Because
Yeah.
that was the thing with CDs. I was always like, don't scratch the CD. That was
Yeah.
like a big thing. Like,
But
Yeah, there's a whole industry around CD repair and like, oh, you can like fix your scratches with this like paste and this or this wax. And it's
yeah,
like,
they had like repair kits you could buy, like CD.
okay, wait,
like
before
CD
though,
cleaning
Yeah.
systems.
we
and
want to
stuff.
answer the question of
Yeah,
if
sorry,
you
you got cut off.
remember. I know Erica, like I said, I thought we were stopping the
sorry,
whole
I
thing.
took us backwards.
That's
sideways.
okay. That's okay. I was just confused if we were actually like stopping or we were just. It was very. People who are watching us on video will see that me and Steve are like, "What's going on?"
Oh, I was looking like, did we not hit record
I
again?
know. But if you remember how old and
Yeah.
what was your first CD?
For me, I didn't get a CD player till like I was old, like it was later. I was like, I think I was like 15.
Mm-hmm.
By that point, like everyone kind of had CD players and stuff like that. But the first two I remember getting, I remember specifically wanting to get the Weezer Blue album on CD, but they only had it on tape, so I didn't buy it. But I got Incesticide Oh no, sorry, Nirvana in Utero and Aerosmith Big Ones.
What about you, Eric?
I think it was two Guns N' Roses CDs. I think it was Appetite for Destruction and
Good
Use Your
choice.
Illusions 2, I think. Whichever one had November Rain on it.
That's really random.
That was I'm pretty sure that was Use Illusion 1.
Was it 1? Okay. Because I know I didn't get both at the same time.
That's a really random. I would never picture those would be your CDs that you got.
I like Guns N' Roses a lot when I was younger. Like, when I got my CD player when I was in high school. So Guns N' Roses at that point in time was probably on the way out already.
Oh.
I know. But I liked those songs. So I was like, I want to listen to them on my new CD player.
Good choice. I have both those albums, yes.
Yeah.
On tape and CD.
My first 2 CDs I got when I got my Discman from Santa Claus. I think I was probably,
great.
I know. I think I was probably, 15, 14, somewhere around there.
Yeah.
And I got the Aerosmith Big Ones. I got Aerosmith Get a Grip. Was that the one with the cow on the front?
The Cow Udder?
Yeah.
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 And
Yeah,
I
big
got
ones.
Counting Crows, the yellow one with Mr. Jones. I don't know what it was called. With Mr. Jones and all those songs.
Was it like August and everything after?
No,
or
that was
something?
the one after.
Oh, okay.
I'm pretty sure because I had like Long December.
Throwing Copper.
No, I don't
No,
know.
that was-
Right now, everybody's screaming, being like, "It's called this."
Yeah, I was not a huge Counting Crows fan.
I love that CD.
They were a big band though. They were like huge.
I loved it, and I got that with my Discman. I had like an actual, what did they call them? Like a stereo system. I got that a bit later. That had like remember? Did you guys have ones that had more? You could put more than one CD in it.
No, I never did.
Wow.
I didn't have like the carousel or whatever they called it, where you could put like 5 discs in
Yeah.
there. No, I had
I did.
fancy. No,
Points for you, I guess.
Well,
Yeah.
I can thank my grandpa. He loved all that stuff, so he'd buy them for
nice. No,
for
the
me.
first one I had was like a boom box. Like it was just all one unit, and then it had one tape player on the front, and then had
Yes.
a top loading disc. And then I upgraded to one that was bigger. That had remember like you had like the speakers would come off of it.
Oh, I remember
Yes.
that one.
So I had one of those. It was
Yeah.
more of like a. Those were both purchases from good old Future Shop.
My CD player was the one that had like the single CD player on the top.
Yeah.
And had a single cassette.
That's like the 4th time you've done
So you're
that.
gonna tighten that thing up on you.
Yeah, I know. I had a single cassette underneath.
Yeah, I had the same thing.
Yeah,
and
exactly.
The speakers
Not
came
detachable though.
I mean,
off. Oh, okay.
It was all one unit.
how was I cooler than you guys? And I wasn't even a huge music person.
Well, life changed, I guess. Look at us now.
Yeah, well,
Sadly, I didn't have a
that's true.
grandpa to fund my CD addiction. I had a lot of CDs too. Like I had like 300 probably.
Well, that
Somewhere.
kind
I had
of-
a ton of CDs. I love listening to music. Still do.
That kind of goes to the next like sort of transition. Once the CD era came, there was, I mean, I think they had it for cassettes too, but we were too young to do it ourselves. But now we're into like the Columbia House, the subscription services for CDs.
Yeah, actually, like buying like CDs and stuff, right? Like it was a whole different experience than it is now. Like you had like Columbia House, like you're talking about, going actually into a record store.
I used to love that. Yeah, going to
Yeah.
like HMV or Sunrise,
Me
which
too.
is up here. We're in Canada, so those were sort of the two big ones here.
Yeah, exactly. I'm actually going into a record store, like looking through like all the CDs and stuff. Like way different now than, but even then than now. Like
Yeah, they're
Whereas-
starting to come up again, which is kind of nice to get those retro. Like I said, there's a Sunrise that popped up again. It's like nice to go in there and
yeah, exactly.
search through like the artists and find their CDs and see what there is and stuff.
I used to buy my CDs at Zellers.
Yeah, you could buy them everywhere. Yeah.
Where's that want noise?
Wah, wah.
I did BMG, which was up here in Canada. We had Columbia House as well, but I remember doing BMG like a couple of times, and that's how I got a ton of my CDs. 'Cause
It
you
was
could-
like you had to buy 5 at regular price and you got a bunch for like 3 cents or something.
yeah, and the price for the regular ones wasn't too crazy, so I remember doing that a couple times,
Yeah.
and that's how like I said, I had a ton of CDs. I had like a big like I think it was like 300 CD holder like
Oh my
carousel
gosh.
thing.
Those giant carousels that
Moving
all
that thing
the
was a pain in the ass.
all the way through like teenagers and moving out as young adults, and you had to carry that thing around to your apartments you were
Oh, it
moving
made
to.
away a lot of different moves, and and
Oh
it was
my
always
gosh.
boxes and boxes of CDs. Yeah.
Yeah, but one of my favorite things about CDs was they kind of upgraded the whole like booklet inside. So there would be like behind the scenes photos, there would be lyrics. It was always annoying when they didn't have lyrics.
That's the one thing I miss now. Like with streaming, is like you have to go find the lyrics somewhere else.
So when you want to like have a karaoke party by yourself, you have to like Google the lyrics.
Yeah, I guess you could like they'll actually play the lyrics if you're watching it. Like
Yeah,
Did you-
music has that now,
But
but
did you guys all notice that Eric didn't deny that he has karaoke parties by himself?
I did notice that.
Let's not be. Let's not.
That's another episode.
That's a whole
Yeah.
other episode. You guys are jealous you're not invited.
I mean, yeah, I want to play karaoke or sing karaoke. This makes me want to sing. Don't worry.
We
I
have the
won't sing.
microphones. Yeah,
Oh,
no
God.
one wants to hear us sing. That's for sure.
It's weird enough hearing our own voices in the
Yeah,
headphones.
yeah, it's still strange.
But yeah, the booklets were really cool. It would be like a whole day event, especially if it was like a CD that you were like really like looking forward to, like that release CD.
Yep,
And
yeah.
it was just, there was always an event around it. It was like the CDs being released, people would line up at the record stores, and it was just a thing.
Yeah.
Exactly.
Oh yeah. No, it's just different nowadays. Yeah, you don't have to do that. You just wait till it pops up online and just
No.
listen to it.
And I don't know about you guys, but like I don't listen to like a full album anymore. Like when like a new artist
No.
comes out with like a new like CD or not a CD, like a new album, and they release it like on a streaming service, I just listen to like the big song. Like back in the day when I used to buy like a CD from like a band I was actually a fan of, I would listen to the whole thing all the way
Yeah.
through.
Yeah, I mean, I would not always.
Yeah.
I would definitely
If it was like,
skip some songs and stuff like
Yeah.
that, but it was a lot easier to, you would listen to more than you would. Where now, like, it's just literally you download that song.
Yeah.
So
Yeah.
unless you really want to get into the artist, you could just kind of pick that one tune. You don't even look at any of their other
Yeah.
library until something else pops up on the radio or something you hear about.
But that was like a strike against like CDs back in the day too. Like you bring up a good point. If a CD had like one song on it, you just paid like $15-$16 for one song.
Well, that was the thing too, exactly. Unless you got like a compilation album or something like that.
Yeah.
You bought a CD hoping that you're gonna like, you buy Use Illusion 1. It's like, I hope I like this.
One of-
And then you only one way to find out, right?
one of the biggest CDs I remember being super excited to buy when it came out, and I listened to all of it, was the Alanis Morissette CD, when she kind of came back as like a grungy
That
artist.
that was a huge album
Oh,
too.
yeah.
I think for us it was strange being from Canada, where it's like this is a girl that was like a child TV star on this like really goofy comedy show called You Can't Do That on Television.
Well, then she was a pop star for a
And
moment.
then she was a pop star up here too, doing like some like 80s, like really 80s, like cheesy stuff. And then to see her come out as this like angst-ridden, like angry, yeah. it was-
Oh, look, I still belt out those songs if I'm in the car by myself or in the shower when you're just having one of those angsty days and you just belt it out. It feels good.
Yeah, exactly.
Yeah.
If you ever watched How I Met Your Mother, like that one character, Robin Sparkles,
That's right.
her trajectory pretty much follows Alanis
It was
Morissette's
just
trajectory.
yeah. sort of spoofing Alanis Morissette. Yeah,
Yeah.
that was
Yeah.
great about that. Yeah.
The CD era was, I do have one story about the CD life, if I can share it.
CD, not CD.
CD.
Not CD. CD Valley of Kelly.
Remember, they had obviously all the record stores, but then there was this whole like movement of where they would have the like used CD stores where you could go buy used
Yeah,
CDs
yeah,
for
yeah. I
cheap.
remember those. Yeah.
You could go sell your used CDs, which was really cool because you could make some extra money and then buy something else you wanted. I mean, it wasn't like a profitable thing or anything, but you know.
Yeah, Cheapies in Hamilton. Shout out to a store that doesn't exist anymore.
I don't remember that place.
Yeah.
But I went and I always loved the Soul Asylum song Runaway Train. Loved it, loved it, loved it. Never really cared about Soul Asylum in general, just really loved that song.
Yeah.
I didn't want to buy the whole CD. Couldn't download it anywhere at this point, or maybe I could and I was just not there yet. But went to the used CD store. They had the CD. It was like $4, super cheap. It was used. The booklet was ripped, but who cared? I wanted the song. Come home, and CDs, once you open them, you couldn't return them. Come home, open it up. It was another Soul Asylum album in the wrong cover.
Oh no.
No. So they
It
was
was-
mix it up.
It wasn't Runaway Train. It was their other big song. I don't remember what it is.
Misery.
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 Yeah.
Misery, which is a fine song, but I really wanted Run. I was so mad. So
That
mad.
would be really annoying. Yeah. Yeah. That would be.
Just hit my chin off the mic. Sorry. I was
We're
so
still getting used to
mad.
the new hardware.
Yeah, we look like clumsy golden retrievers right now, kind of like. "Ugh."
I'm just like staying like I'm not even moving.
For those of you who are just listening, if you want to see the antics, go to our YouTube channel and check it out.
Yeah, Gen X Unfiltered. We're on YouTube.
You know, we're a hot mess, but that's okay. We're having fun.
Yeah, stop and say hi.
So that's sort of, I just remember this, like, I was so angry. I was so mad. I just
that would
wanted
be
that
super
song.
annoying. Yeah.
But, yeah, the CD era was a good one. I had lots of CDs.
Yeah,
lots of,
yeah. That's where I really kind of like. I've always been a, like I said, like even like I was a kid, like I was into music, like. But so CDs, like I totally embrace them. I listen to music pretty much every day. Even now, like just driving to work with them, I'm always streaming music at home.
Okay, so we kind of went through the CD era. We all loved it. I mean, it was just a very nostalgic era. But then came technology, as usual. whether it ruins things or makes things better. I guess
that's what we're discussing today,
we're here to
right?
find
Yes,
out.
right.
What do they call it? Disruptive technology?
Yeah.
But after our whole little world of CDs and the joy that brought, what came next?
Napster, Limewire, all the sort of the start of the streaming.
Yeah, I admittedly don't know a lot about the streaming. I know what it does. I know what it gives you, but I don't really remember like when it started, how it started. I just know there was controversy. So I'll let you guys know a little bit more about that.
Well, yeah, like when Napster first came out, like I loved it because it solved a bunch of problems we just talked about. Like if you didn't want to buy a CD because there was only one song you liked on that CD, well, just go on Napster and download that one song now.
Yeah, that's
So
great.
I thought it was great. I'm like, this is like phenomenal, and well, I could get whatever song I wanted. So awesome. Number one. Point number two, it was free.
Yeah,
so
I had to
You
pay
were
for any of it.
stealing it.
Well,
it was
that's-
called file
yeah.
sharing. It wasn't stealing.
Look, we're all guilty of it, of course.
No,
Yeah.
I mean, it was so new, you kind of didn't even think about it. But
It was
yeah,
just like mind blown. We can get anything we want for nothing. So it was kind of just this like, whoa. Like
Yeah.
it was
Yeah.
such, to me, it feels like it was such a jump from like listening to CDs to all of a sudden, what?
Yeah.
Oh yeah, totally. Like Eric said, the fact that you could get any song, like you could get any song you wanted, it was crazy. Granted, it came with a weird caveat that you didn't actually know you were downloading. So, like, you had to be worried about viruses or the songs may not be real songs. You'd get weird, random. I remember, like, it was like Bill Clinton impersonator.
Oh my God.
Talking about how it's like the FBI or something or other. I
Yeah.
forget what it was, but yeah. So it was a crapshoot.
And how many home PCs got ruined with
my
viruses?
God.
People
Oh,
downloading
probably. Yeah.
stuff off LimeWire or Napster or BearShare, any of these things.
Oh
Yeah.
yeah.
But then I
It's like the
remember,
Wild West.
I remember Napster was, I think they got sued or something,
Yeah,
right?
Metallica. I remember really Lars Ulrich sort of being not that he sort of always seems to be the speaker for the band, but yeah, they really, and again, rightfully so, because like I said, millions of people were using it, but nobody was paying for any of it. So it's
But yeah, it was great as for us as consumers to be like, wow, we get whatever we want, when we want, how we want it, blah, 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 blah. But as an artist, it's really annoying, and I get it. Like, it's not fair.
literally
Well, you're
just
taking money
people's-
out of their pocket,
People
yeah.
are literally just stealing your stuff. Yeah,
Yeah.
you spent God knows how much time and money
Like,
to
it's-
create to just have people put up on the internet and take it
No,
for free.
it's not fair, and it sucks.
No, but it definitely introduced all of us to like what the world we're in now
Yeah.
of like Apple Music and Spotify and stuff like that. It was that first iteration of it where it's like, oh, you can get anything you want off the internet at the drop of, with the click of a button,
Well, sorry, go ahead if you were.
and so that kind of, then it sort of turned into like iTunes and stuff like that. And now to where we are now, like Apple Music and everything.
Well, now, like, this might be a stupid, naive question. Again, I don't know a lot
There are
about
no
it,
stupid
but
questions, just stupid people.
Oh,
raise his hand.
David Spade, nice quote.
But artists get compensated now to be on like Spotify and Apple, right?
Yes, they do. I mean, it's from my understanding, it's
Peanuts.
not even peanuts. It's fractions of a peanut. Yeah, it's like next to nothing.
Which kind of sucks because, like, again, for people like, let's just use Taylor Swift as an example. I mean, she's getting billions and billions of listens on her thing, right? So,
Yeah. Well,
but-
I remember I saw a clip of Snoop Dogg talking about it. He said he had like 1 billion streams in 1 year, and he got $45,000.
What?
Yeah. So that's like
Wow.
nothing.
That's nothing.
For
Can you imagine if he sold 1 billion albums?
Wow.
The difference,
Well,
how
well,
much
that's
money
if
he
he
would have
sold 1
made?
billion albums, he would have put a couple extra zeros behind that.
Yeah.
Right?
Do
It would've, like,
Here's an interesting question. You guys may or may not know the answer, but do artists have to give permission to be a part of the streaming services?
Yeah. There's
Okay.
Because some artists aren't on Apple Music or Spotify.
no, there's a few that have
I
been.
think Neil Young was against. I don't think he's on now, but I think initially he was against being on like Apple Music or Spotify.
Well,
because,
remember he started his own version, that
Yeah.
title with like Jay-Z and a couple other people.
Yeah.
Hmm.
I think maybe Kanye West as well. I can't remember who's on that. I never listened to it, but
No.
there's still artists. I know the Beatles for a long time were not on there and stuff, but
And
so
now-
yes, artists have to.
This just sort of made me think of like, again, how easy it is to listen to music whenever you want because you can do it on your phone, your computer, your iPad, all that kind of stuff. And then it just made me, I know I'm kind of going a little bit backwards, but I have to mention this because it was such an iconic moment of all of our childhoods, I'm sure. But listening to music in a car now, and then remember listening to our old Discman in a car and how difficult that was.
Oh God,
Oh,
yeah,
my
I had that. I
gosh.
had the. I think we were talking about this
Yeah.
before, but like you had like the tape play. The tape would go into the cassette deck to get the audio, and then you had to put the power into the lighter jack.
Yeah.
Let's be real, guys. Back then, Real facts. Cars did not have CD players. They
Not
were all
even
cassette
close,
No,
no.
not a lot of cassette players and cars back then.
No,
Yeah.
it was a whole like rigmarole, and then you had your disc. I remember, and it would skip all the time. You hit a pothole or something like that. It was like,
And
yeah.
people complain now about like, you know, it's still a problem. People like looking at their phones while they're driving. Back then, people
Oh my
had like those
gosh.
binders full of CDs in their car.
Oh, yeah, I
They'd
had
be
a big
looking
one,
at that, trying to find the CD they want instead of looking at the road. I'm
Oh,
like,
yeah.
driver distraction is not a new thing.
Remember, some would have it in the visor?
Yeah, the small
Yeah.
one. Yeah, I had
Oh
a big,
my
I had a big
gosh.
like booklet, a whole like I think it was like 50 of them.
Oh, it was such a
You flip
pain.
through, but then even if you wanted to skip the song, you had to like do it on the Discman. So you're trying to like lean over. And,
Because the
Yeah.
cables were never long enough, so you mostly had to keep the Discman on the floor beside you while you're like the passenger floor to reach, and then it was just
it
terrible.
was a whole thing. Yeah, it is way easier nowadays.
It
Like,
is, I
you just
mean-
go now, especially both newer cars now have like Bluetooth and stuff like that. So like literally
Yeah.
just turn your car on and your phone's connected and,
Oh yeah.
and you're
If you
going.
have Apple CarPlay or Android Auto, like you're laughing. Like you can just
Yeah.
talk to your assistant and get whatever song you want.
Look at the world we've lived through. The world we've lived
Well,
through.
even now, like I mean, we haven't really touched on it. It's not so much of this, but like, how about like Shazam?
Ooh, yes,
You
I
know,
love
and now
Shazam.
like it's built into at least. I think it's only on Apple, but it's built into like Siri.
These guys will attest to
So
the
like
fact.
you can just ask it, "Hey, what song
Yeah.
is this?" And most
Yeah.
songs it'll tell you exactly what song it is, and then it would be like, "Hey, do you want to open it in Apple Music?" And there you go. It's so you know,
These guys can attest to the fact that I'm terrible at remembering songs. So Shazam is my friend because I'll always be like, "What's this song?" And one
well,
of you
they'll
will
tell
be
you
like,
like, hey, "What's the name of the song that goes like ba da ba?" It's like, what? Do you know the song that goes ba da ba?
"But it's fun."
McDonald's jingle.
And I'll be like, "It has the word baby in it." Okay, well,
Yeah, it's like no. And so Shazam has made a lot.
Yeah.
You know, it's just the technology and stuff like that around music. It is so much further than
yeah.
you know when we look back now, talking about like when we were kids and stuff like that. Like, it is actually kind of crazy when you think about
Yeah.
it.
Before we started recording, Steve mentioned that he had a tiny little bit of information, at least, I don't know how old or relevant it is now, but on the artist revenue, just sort of like what they,
Yeah, let me try and find it. I forget where I had that photo.
I just sprung it on him again, I guess. But
Uh-oh.
I learned last time.
while you're looking for that, I'll just like, that's crazy that 1 billion streams and he made $45,000.
Yeah.
That's insanity.
Yeah, exactly.
And think about the young, like the newer artists who don't have a fan base like that.
Yeah.
And they're just trying to make it, and they're probably making nothing.
Yeah. It's definitely, I think it's a real challenge for a new artist trying to make any money. But I think
Wow.
like that's problem. To be honest, the problem's probably always been there, right?
True.
If you think back to the CD days,
True.
if you're a big artist, like you're gonna get your CD into the stores, right? Like as a small like artist starting out, same problem.
True.
How do you get your CD into like HMV or Sunrise Records?
That's true.
Right?
Just a different sort of way to. Yeah, I mean it's true. It's just, I guess, yeah, it's just weird.
Yeah,
It's weird,
it is weird.
and I feel bad now for all those songs that I downloaded that I didn't pay for. I'm sorry, Maroon 5.
You better send them a check right now.
I definitely still have
Adam-
still have songs on my
Adam Levine, will you forgive
iPad
me?
that came from Limewire.
Adam Levine needs your money.
Fun story. That's how I became a Maroon 5 fan. I had a friend who came over. I barely knew what LimeWire was. It was on my computer. He came and he downloaded a whole bunch of songs and he's like, "Oh, I love these guys. They have a new album, blah, blah, blah." And I listened to it and it was the Maroon 5 album. And from then I was hooked.
You've
Songs
been
about
hooked
Jane.
forever.
Songs about Jane.
That's a band we could have a whole conversation about, but they have, like, you listen to that first album to what, like, they were kind of like a real band then, to now they're like this kind of weird poppy,
Super
dance,
overproduced
like,
pop.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I'm not such a fan now, but that's okay. We'll talk about that another day. Still love you, Adam. In
All
case
right.
he ever listens. Just
So
kidding.
here
I'm
I
sure he's
found
going to be
the-
a subscriber real soon.
All right, I found my list here. We can actually maybe we'll put this. We can put this up on the actual on the YouTube video, or you know, if you're watching this on video, I'll put the we'll put the graphic up here. I've got the list here of sort of what they kind of pay per streaming platform. Like I said, I don't know what year this is from, but so Tidal Music, it pays the most. So to make $1, you have to have 78 streams.
Wow.
So I don't.
Wow. I mean, that's crappy.
What?
You have to have 78 plays to make $1.
Yeah.
Okay.
So for
Yikes.
Apple Music, it's 125 plays
Apple.
to make $1.
Yeah.
For Amazon Music, it's 249
Oh my
streams to make $1.
Amazon.
I should say there's the percentage of how many, like it's 0.0 of a penny, like it's nothing. Spotify is 300. It takes 314 streams to make $1.
Spotify.
That's like almost 3 times as much as Apple to make $1.
Wow.
YouTube Music apparently is 500.
Oh Oh my God.
And then Pandora is 752.
Oh, I forgot about Pandora. Is
That
it
is
still a
I
thing?
think
crazy.
everybody does.
Yeah, I don't know if it's still around.
Remember it was big in the States.
Yeah. Never mind
Yeah.
took off up here in Canada.
No.
No, here was always just kind of Spotify.
Spotify.
Or Apple Music.
I mean, those facts again, like obviously we know, but like to hear them, it's just like, oof.
Well, it's just crazy how little they pay. Like,
Yeah. Now I see why Taylor Swift just makes a lot of money on concerts and
well, that's what all
merchandising.
these guys do, yeah.
Hearing all those stats and numbers, I feel really bad. I'm
No,
sorry
you
for
just
my
realize
past self.
it's a grind. I mean, music is more accessible than ever, and it pays as little
There just has to
than
be.
ever.
I
So
wish
it's a
there-
weird dichotomy.
I mean, I wish there was a way that they could get compensated properly and we could still listen for cheap.
Yeah, I know.
No, I don't know. I don't know.
That magic answer out there, I don't know what it is.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's someone's getting rich off of this, but it ain't the artist.
No,
That's obvious.
the recording companies and all
Yeah,
them.
exactly.
Yeah. Oh, that was my tie-in?
Yeah, Eric didn't get the throw. I was like throwing to him with my eyes.
Well, you know what time it is.
What time?
It's quiz time.
Quiz time.
This is my favorite time of the show. So we're doing a quiz. I'm going to ask you guys to name me the top 5 streaming artists on Spotify of all time.
Okay, can I just whatever, that's fine.
So
You want to go first?
Top 5 of all time.
we're going all time.
Like, see, now I got to try and remember when Spotify kind of started ish because it's not going to be like
It
somebody
doesn't
from
even
the-
matter though. It's
Oh, it
who's on there.
doesn't.
Who's
Eric, this question's not fair.
Why is it not fair?
It's fine. I'll do it. I'll
Are you
guess.
sure? Would you want me to ask you like an Adam Levine question instead?
Sure. No. All right. Top 5. I'm just
Top,
going to
yeah,
name
give
top
me the
5.
top 5 artists on Spotify
I'm
of all
going to
time.
say Taylor Swift, Kanye West, Drake, Beyonce, and
How many guesses was that?
that was 4. And Justin Bieber. I don't know.
Oh, okay.
Okay. So that's Kelly's top 5.
All right, Steve. I just went right off the top of my head.
I think
Yeah.
it's going to be all newer artists. I'm going to steal a couple from your list because I think definitely Taylor Swift, Drake.
There's 2.
Yeah, who else?
Steve gets very serious about his quizzes.
Yeah, no, I'm just trying to think about. I just don't want to say the same ones you did because you had a good list there. But
Oh, I know.
how about let's say the Beatles? I'm sure that's totally wrong.
Okay, I
That
guess
could be a good
3.
one.
The Eagles,
Eagles is 4.
and I'm trying to think of someone that's
One
like
more
more
guess.
recent. Post Malone.
Ooh, good
That's a
guess.
terrible. No, that's a
Okay,
terrible
so
guess.
you guys tied.
Stop.
You both got 2.
I'm gonna guess it was probably Taylor Swift
And
and
Taylor
Drake.
Swift and Drake. Yeah, exactly.
Kanye
So-
West wasn't on there?
No. So here's the top 5. Number 1 is Drake with 71 billion.
Wow.
2 is Taylor Swift with 71 billion. I guess Drake is 71.7 billion, so he's a little higher
Canada beat
than Taylor
US.
Swift.
Six God.
So Taylor Swift was in 2. Number 3 was Bad Bunny at 68 billion.
Who is this Bad Bunny?
Super popular.
Yeah, see, that's a
guy.
problem. We're showing our age here. We're not too connected to all the
Yeah,
new
exactly.
stuff. That's my problem. That's our problem.
Then we have The Weeknd at 52 billion.
Oh, I
The
always
Weeknd.
forget about him.
And everyone's favorite ginger, Ed Sheeran.
Oh, I love Ed.
Ed
Ed
Sheeran.
Sheeran at number 5 at 46
That makes
billion.
sense. Yeah, the weekend too. Eh, with 2
Yeah.
Canadian boys on there. Nice
I'm
to see.
probably 1 billion of those 46 billion for Ed Sheeran because I love his songs.
Yeah. For anybody who's curious about the rest of the top 10, it was Ariana Grande, Justin Bieber, Eminem, Post Malone, and BTS. So I think you said Post Malone.
And I
did say
said
both, yeah.
Justin Bieber.
He's at number 9.
Yeah, that's cool though. 3 Canadian boys on there. eh?
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's crazy to see.
Yep.
Good on them.
So, anyways, you guys tied. So no winners today.
No
in today's
winners,
quiz.
so-
We didn't do as bad as I thought.
Get to keep that 20 in my pocket.
But before we wrap up this podcast, I think that we need to answer the question that we started with because all this discussion has kind of made me rethink some things and remember things. But Eric, we'll start with you.
Sure.
Do you think the internet has ruined music?
Absolutely not. I think it's just music is always evolving. How we listen to music and like consume it is always evolving, and I think that's just what's happened here. You know, all the same problems we talked about, like artist revenues. That's not a new problem. Artist revenue has been a problem for decades, right? Like artists never made a lot of money on their CDs. They made more money on touring and concerts and like merchandise. So that's a problem that's still there. I think honestly, like it's better for the consumer. Like it's more accessible, easier to like find the songs you want. So I'm gonna say it's not better at all. I think it's actually improved things.
What about you, Steve? Ooh, he's pondering.
I'm going to say, yeah. So I'm having more thoughts here, but I'm going to say no, it hasn't ruined music. With obviously the caveat that I think that there's other this is probably other topics we can get into because we didn't even get into like
No, I mean,
TikTok music and all
no.
this stuff. But in
This is just
terms of
yeah.
accessibility for users and stuff like that, and price entry point, it's I think it hasn't ruined it. It's made it more accessible to people. Obviously, there's people that don't have great internet, whatever, so it's not universal. But I think overall, it's made it way easier to listen to music, enjoy music anytime you want, anywhere you want. So I'm going to say yes, it has. Or sorry, no, it hasn't
like, what
ruined
happened?
music.
I don't know. This is, again, it's me. They're all going to roll their eyes because I can't ever have a yes or no, black or white answer. But for me, like overall, no, I don't think the internet's ruined music. Like you guys said, it allows us to listen different ways. I do have issue. I think there needs to be a better way to compensate artists because they do work hard. But at the same time, because I grew up that way, I do miss the sort of nostalgia around music because now music, again, in a weird way, I don't know, music, I don't know. I'm getting all jumbled, but I miss the nostalgia of back in the day, taking the time and being like present in the moment, listening to the radio and recording your song and like it being like a thing, at least for me. I miss, that kind of stuff. I miss going with friends to the store to buy CDs and talking about this and that. And now it's just very individual, right? You just listen to your music on your earpods while you're at the gym or in the car. I don't know. It's just, but I don't think overall it's been ruined. I think it's just different.
It's definitely a lot different. It's much more of an individual thing now, whereas a lot of times back in the day it was much more of a communal thing or shared event
experience.
of like going to the store, listening to music, buying it and stuff. Now it's just, you just open your phone, do it. And
like on a Saturday, going to the mall with your friends when you were a teenager, what's the one store you always went to?
Yeah.
The music store, right? You would listen to remember they had the little headphones, you'd listen to the
listening
samples.
stations, yeah.
So yeah, and I mean, I think it's for kids now who've only grown up with music this way, it's like archaic, right? They're like, what?
Well, that's exactly, they can't even imagine it.
And I think it's pretty cool that given the ages we are, which sucks sometimes, but I think it's cool that we kind of grew up with like I said, way back in the day, recording our stuff off the radio, and now we can see where it's evolved. It's really cool.
No, we've seen that transition from like analog, literally hitting two buttons to now just bloop, and there it is. Yeah.
But yeah, it's I don't really think about a lot of this stuff, so it's fun to sort of sit back and talk about it and discuss it. And anybody out here who's listening has any comments, please leave one on this video if you're watching on YouTube, or I don't know, can they leave comments on podcasts? I have no idea.
Yes,
we'll
they
find
can.
out.
They can. Yeah.
If you can, please leave a comment. But yeah, this is a lot of fun.
Yeah, that was awesome, guys. And hopefully everyone listening enjoyed it. We appreciate you guys hanging out with us for almost 45 minutes.
Wow.
Damn.
That was a good one.
And just really quickly before we end, in case you didn't know, if you missed it, we are on YouTube. You can watch the antics.
Yeah, we're on YouTube. You can watch us wherever you guys want to listen to your favorite podcast. We're on every platform at Gen X Unfiltered. And so, guys, thank you very much for joining us today. Our inaugural podcast is on the books. Good job, everybody. Get a little fist bump. And we'll see you guys in the next episode.
I think Eric just hit his mic. Way to go, out.
I was this close to ending the episode.
I mean, it's us, right? We're clumsy golden retrievers. We're just flopping around.
That's
but thank you guys so much for your support. We really appreciate it.
We'll see you guys in the next one.
See you next time.
Bye,
Bye,
guys.
guys.
Take care, everybody.